Imagine for a second a brand new military alliance just snapping into place on the world map. And this isn't just any alliance. We're talking about one that combines the incredible financial power of Saudi Arabia, the nuclear arsenal of Pakistan, and the super advanced battle-tested military tech of Turkey. This isn't science fiction. According to recent analyses, it's a very real possibility that's on the table right now. So that brings up a huge question, right? What actually happens when a power block like this enters the world stage? Well, it's something strategists are really trying to figure out. Because on Alliance this powerful, it doesn't just add a new player to the game, it completely changes the entire board. So let's break down what this pact is, who's in it, and why it matters so much for everyone else. Okay, so at the heart of all this, you've got three key nations: Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Pakistan. The idea being discussed is for Turkey to join a defense agreement that already exists between the other two. And by doing that, they'd create this really powerful trilateral pact, all driven by the shared goal of having more strategic freedom in their part of the world. Now, the core idea here is a mutual defense pact, and it basically mirrors NATO's famous Article 5. To put it simply, if you attack one of these countries, you're attacking all three of them. It's that collective defense clause that would turn this partnership from just a friendly agreement into a seriously formidable military bloc. And what makes it so powerful is this combination of very different but totally complementary strengths. You've got Saudi Arabia bringing the massive financial engine you'd need to fund all the advanced research and military operations. Then you have Pakistan, which brings its nuclear arsenal to the table. That's the ultimate security guarantee, a huge deterrent. And then there's Turkey. Turkey brings the tech. Let's just zoom in on Turkey for a minute, because its role here is what really truly elevates this whole potential alliance. We're not just talking about soldiers and guns. We're talking about a sophisticated, homegrown defense industry that has literally changed how modern wars are fought.
And I mean, this stuff is a game changer. We're talking about the world-famous Bayraktar drones, the ones that were so decisive in conflicts like Nagorno-Karabakh. But it's not just drones. It's attack helicopters, modern tanks, and even a brand new drone-carrying warship and a fifth-generation fighter jet in the works. This isn't just a list of hardware. It's a massive strategic advantage.
And this is big business. Just look at the numbers. In 2023, Turkey's defense exports rocketed past $10 billion. That shows their military tech isn't just advanced, it's in high demand all over the world. It really cements them as a major player in the global arms market.
So what does this all mean for everyone else? Well, the creation of a new bloc this strong would obviously send ripples across the region, challenging the way things have been for other powers in South Asia and the Middle East. Just think about Pakistan's nuclear weapons. With over 170 warheads, it's already a huge factor in regional stability. But put it under a mutual defense pact, and suddenly that nuclear arsenal gets this indirect layer of protection from two other major military and economic powers. For any potential adversary, that makes the whole strategic calculation way more complicated. Then you've got the economic leverage. Let's talk about energy security. A country like India gets about 18% of its crude oil from Saudi Arabia. That right there creates a major vulnerability, where any kind of disruption to that supply could cause some pretty severe economic problems. Of course, this pact wouldn't exist in a vacuum. It's stepping onto a stage that's already full of competing alliances. On one side, you've got this new bloc that's all about strategic independence. And on the other, you've got existing frameworks, like the Quad. That's the US, Japan, Australia, and India. And the I2U2 group, which links India, Israel, the UAE, and the US. They all represent a very different set of interests. You know, making sense of these complex power shifts is absolutely crucial. And if breaking this down is helping you connect the dots, maybe take a quick second to subscribe. That way you won't miss out on our future deep dives into the forces shaping our world. So, faced with this new bloc, how might other countries respond? Well, the source material we're looking at doesn't just lay out the challenge. It also gets into a potential strategic playbook for any nation that wants to balance out this new dynamic. The proposed response has a few different layers. First, on the diplomatic front, the idea is to strengthen those counter-alliances to create a better balance of power. Second, militarily, it's about investing in specific technologies like anti-drone systems and cyber warfare defenses to counter the pact's biggest strengths. And third, from an economic standpoint, it's about reducing weak spots, like that energy dependence we talked about.
This quote from the analysis really sums it all up perfectly. The key isn't to just react to things as they happen, but to be proactive. You do that by blending strength through deterrence, building relationships through diplomacy, and creating resilience through diversification.
So where does this all lead? What's the end game here? Well, an alliance like this doesn't just represent a new military power. It really points to a fundamental shift in the whole global order. For decades, we've lived in a world pretty much dominated by one or two superpowers. But the rise of blocs like this one signals a move toward a truly multipolar world. That's a world where different groups of nations can act independently, chasing their own interests without having to tie themselves to a single global power. It's a much more complex and maybe even more unpredictable global chessboard.
Now, before we finish up, just a quick disclaimer. This explainer is for educational and informational purposes only. If you're thinking about making any financial or investment decisions, please be sure to consult with a qualified professional advisor. Hey, if this breakdown helped you get a clearer picture of this really big geopolitical development, please think about subscribing. And we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Your engagement and feedback, it genuinely motivates us to keep digging in and creating these analyses for you.
And that brings us to our final thought. As the old order starts to give way to these new, more fluid partnerships, it leaves us with a really critical question, not just for nations, but for all of us. In a world of constantly shifting alliances, who can you truly count on?